The date is August 16th, 2026. The tennis world is still buzzing from Alex Ila's incredible run at the Cincinnati Open. But suddenly, all eyes turn away from the court and toward a bombshell that has sent shockwaves through the sports world. Martina Navratilova, the 18-time Grand Slam champion and one of the most respected voices in tennis history, has just delivered a statement that has left everyone stunned. And it's not about tennis. It's about President Donald Trump. In a fiery exchange that has divided the sports world, Navratilova has refused to thank Trump, despite sharing his stance on transgender athletes in women's sports. Should I thank him for taking away women's autonomy too? For sexual assaults? For blowing up the world? She fired back. The sports world is in chaos. Fans are divided. And the battle between one of tennis's greatest legends and the most powerful man in America has reached a boiling point. This is the story of Navratilova's bombshell statement. This is the story of the reaction that has stunned the sports world. This is the story of how a tennis legend took a stand and refused to back down. Face screaming in fear, fire. Martina Navratilova is not just a tennis legend. She is a force of nature. With 18 Grand Slam singles titles, a record 332 weeks as world number one, and 59 major titles overall, she is one of the greatest athletes in history. But her impact extends far beyond the tennis court. She has been a vocal advocate for gay rights, a fierce defender of women's rights, and a relentless critic of what she sees as injustice. She defected from communist Czechoslovakia in 1975 to escape totalitarian rule, and she has never been afraid to speak her mind, even when it costs her. I lived in a totalitarian, authoritarian country growing up, and I will not vote for that now or ever, she wrote in October 2024, referencing Trump. Navratilova has been jettisoned by much of the LGBT community for speaking up in the debate about trans women competing in women's sport. Yes, it's been pretty rough. But I know I'm on the right side of history. I'm right on most people's opinion about women's sex-based spaces, and especially sports. They need to stay female, she said. She has repeatedly criticized Democrats for failing to act on the issue, saying, "I tried to get to Kamala Harris's campaign. Nobody would listen to me." And she has made it clear that her fight for fairness is bigger than politics. Riley is MAGA, and I couldn't disagree with her more on politics, but on keeping sports safe and fair for girls and women I agree with her, 100%, she wrote on X. But when it comes to Donald Trump, Navratilova draws a hard line. The bombshell came when a fan questioned Navratilova on social media. "Martina, I have not heard you thank President Trump for getting men out of women's sports and spaces." It was a reasonable question. Trump has been a vocal opponent of transgender athletes in women's sports. He signed an executive order to prohibit biological males from women's and girls' sports. He has repeatedly used the issue to attack Democrats. Navratilova shares his stance on this specific issue. She has been one of the most prominent voices calling for the protection of women's sports. So why wouldn't she thank him? Navratilova's response was nothing short of explosive. Should I thank him for taking away women's autonomy too? For sexual assaults? For blowing up the world? The statement hit the sports world like a thunderbolt. Navratilova was not just refusing to praise Trump. She was making a powerful statement about the broader consequences of his presidency. She was saying that one issue does not erase the others. She was saying that she would not compromise her principles, even when it might be politically convenient. But that wasn't the only bombshell. Navratilova has also called Trump a psychopath for the U.S.-Israeli strikes against Iran. OMG. Trump is a psychopath. He totally doesn't give a damn how many people he is personally responsible for killing, she wrote. She has accused him of breaking more laws than all the previous presidents combined. She has compared him to the totalitarian regimes she fled. And she has made it clear that she will never support him, no matter what. To understand the full context of Navratilova's bombshell, you must understand the complex role she plays in the transgender debate. She is a progressive icon. She is openly gay and has spent decades advocating for LGBTQ+ rights. She is not a conservative. She is not a Trump supporter. And yet, on the issue of transgender athletes in women's sports, she sides with conservatives. Navratilova has been a fierce critic of transgender athletes competing in women's sports. She has dismissed the idea of biologically male athletes, even those who have undergone hormone replacement therapy, competing against females, citing the disadvantages for female athletes. She has rallied the WTA's new sex testing policy, stating the decision was in the right direction. She has questioned the WNBA's stance on inclusion, saying, "Cherry-picking anyone." She has argued that self-identification should not be the sole determinant of eligibility. But Navratilova has also been criticized for her stance. She has been jettisoned by much of the LGBT community. She has faced backlash from progressives who see her as a traitor to the cause. She has been labeled problematic by some media outlets. And yet, she has refused to back down. Women are asked to be kind and be inclusive, yet by including transgender-identified males in women's sports, you're excluding women, she said. Navratilova has made it clear that her fight is about fairness, not politics. "I hate that the Democrats totally failed women and girls on this very clear issue of women's sports being for females only," she wrote. She has urged Democrats to grow a spine and take a stand, and she has warned that Republicans will continue to use the issue against them. Navratilova's bombshell statement has sparked a firestorm of reactions across the sports world. Social media is flooded with debate. The hashtag #NavratilovaTrump is trending worldwide. Fans are divided. Some support Navratilova's stance. They argue that she is right to refuse to thank Trump, even when they share a view on transgender athletes. They point to her long history of fighting for women's rights and LGBTQ+ rights. They argue that she is a principled activist who will not compromise her values. "Martina is a hero," one fan wrote. "She has always stood up for what's right, and she won't let anyone, not even Trump, change that." Others criticize Navratilova. They argue that she should acknowledge when Trump does something right, even if she disagrees with him on other issues. They point to Trump's executive order on women's sports as a significant victory for female athletes. They argue that Navratilova's refusal to thank him is petty and political. "Martina is letting her hatred of Trump blind her," one critic wrote. She agrees with him on this issue. She should give credit where credit is due. The debate is not just about Navratilova and Trump. It is about the broader issue of transgender athletes in women's sports. It is about the intersection of sports and politics. It is about whether athletes should speak out on controversial issues or stick to sports. Even Navratilova's fellow tennis players have weighed in. Some have supported her stance. Others have expressed frustration with the politicization of sports. But one thing is clear. Navratilova's bombshell statement has ignited a conversation that will not be silenced anytime soon. Navratilova's bombshell statement is more than just a social media feud. It is a powerful reminder that athletes are not just athletes. They are citizens. They have voices. And they have the right to use them, even when it is controversial. Navratilova has always been a fighter. She fled a totalitarian regime to pursue her dreams. She fought for LGBTQ+ rights when it was not popular. She fought for women's rights when it was not easy. And now, she is fighting for fairness in sports, even when it puts her at odds with her own community. Her words are a reminder that principles matter, that standing up for what you believe in matters, that sometimes the most important battles are fought off the court. The sports world is watching. The fans are divided. And Martina Navratilova is not backing down. From the tennis courts of Wimbledon to the social media battlegrounds of today, she has never been afraid to speak her mind. And she is not about to start now. This is not the end. This is only the beginning.